My name is Craig Elliot. My wife Amy and I have 3 daughters, Anna Claire, Isabel, and Stella Grace. We've been attending church here since April of 2006 and enjoyed every minute of it. So my story started some time ago. My job changed and I worked at this other place beside Train for a year and a half. And I came back from vacation and that company restructured and I lost my job. Struck with fear, heartbroken, embarrassed, I decided to call Train back and they offered me a job, except this time in Birmingham. So I stayed at work at Train. We lived in Gadsden temporarily. Our house was on the market here. We had a few offers, but it never sold. May or June of 2008, my boss talked me into coming back to Montgomery. And we were able to move back in the house that we had on the market. The next day after starting back in the Montgomery office, I had a colonoscopy with my gastroenterologist at UAB. They determined that my colon was at risk of rupturing. I went through 4 surgeries. After the second surgery, I had a lot of complications and lost down to 125 pounds. And it was at that time where I just wanted God to take my life. And through a friend's email and encouragement, he explained, Craig, hey, your wife needs you, your daughter needs you, your friends need you. And even though we had only been at this church for a short time, the family here really took us in and cared for us and served us like we had been here our whole lives. And that changed my perspective. And God revealed to me that He had a plan for me. After that, life became somewhat back to normal. In the fall of 2017, I started having issues again. And UAB couldn't figure out what the problem was, so they referred me to a world-renowned colorectal surgeon, surgeon from Turkey, by the name of Dr. Feza Rimzi. And we had an initial consultation with him, and he informed me that I had to have the same surgeries again that I went through in 08 and 09. But Dr. Rimzi is a Christian man, and he asked me if I had any children. I told him we had 3 beautiful daughters. And he said, Craig, you have 3 reasons there to go through with this surgery. You're young, you have the rest of your life, and they need you. So I don't need to give you any more reasons. You have them and you have your wife. He was difficult to get an appointment with, or typically difficult, and the very moment my wife was on the phone with his assistant, his schedule opened up that day at that moment while Amy was on the phone with him. And so he plugged us in that time. That was June 7th, and that's the day my mom would have turned 80. It was her birthday. So I found that all to be God just saying, hey Craig, I have this. I'm going to take care of you. So we went out on faith. We had 3 surgeries in New York. God has really stood beside me. Our church family has stood beside us, behind us, and supported the whole time. This family just stepped up and took care of us, and I'm forever grateful. Our Sunday school class, the Pathfinders, day in, day out, took care of things at our house, delivered food. Our church family here prayed each day. Cards, letters, emails, texts, phone calls, visits, too numerous to name. It's really mind-blowing what our family at First Baptist Church Wetumpka does here. So after the last surgery in May of 2018, things went well, and I went back for a follow-up to New York in July of 18 and was released to go back to work full-time. And today I feel great. Years back, we wrote a book of our stories to tell our stories to others in our church and the community. And I wrote my initial story that I thought was complete, but little did I know that God just said, to be continued. And so the difficulty of going through that was completely worth it. Because I know He had my hand. And I knew my church family was behind me. And I'm grateful for the experience and being a part of that story. Sometimes we can't explain what we go through or why, but I've learned to say, why not? God tells us many times in His Word that He will never leave us nor forsake us, and I'm a firm believer. My name is Craig Elliot, and I love my church.